I want to go over one of our features in the program today that involves purchase order approval. So if you're in a company of some size that would like to set up a process or procedure that would require an additional sign-off or a person other than the one creating the PO to give approval and to show that within the system, we've created a mechanism by which to do that. So a couple things to get that started. Number one is under the defaults, your company, under the settings, where we host a lot of the different choices or options. We would need to turn on the require PO approval. If you do not choose to turn on the require PO approval, it'll still let you use it. It just will not restrict the access for printing or emailing the purchase order. So we're trying to add some teeth to it here by requiring that and that would be on all POs for the ability to print those out. So you'd save that. Okay. A secondary thing that needs to happen is just the users underneath the setting security. Per user, you'd need to go to the purchasing tab and set up the approve purchase orders. And this is the person that can approve. So usually it's maybe not the same person writing the purchase order, someone else, a manager or something like that. But with this checkbox, that this user has the ability to approve a purchase order. So that's done. Those are our two setup things that need to be done ahead of time. So now underneath purchase orders, if a purchase order has been created already, you can come in here and you can go to the approval tab. It's the fourth tab in, and it's blank right now because this purchase order has not been approved. If we go back to the main screen and we try to print or email this purchase order, you can notice those two options are grayed out. So that restricts us from being able to send that purchase order. But if we go into that purchase order, we go to the approval tab, we check the box, it prompts us with a approval screen, and so we'd enter the user and the password, and we do this in such a way so that you could just have a manager or someone like that walk by your computer and actually have them approve it at that time. And then you could enter a password if there is one, and then you have to check to make sure that the password is valid. Once it is, then you can hit the OK button. Once the OK button is filled in, you can notice it's got my initials, which comes from the user screen. It has the date, time as to when it was approved, and the amount to which it was approved for. We record the amount in addition to the user and the time just because we want to allow the person editing the purchase order, they could have come back and change it, and maybe the price varies some. So that way you have recorded at that time that it was approved, this is the amount that it was approved for. So if there's any problem, you can compare those two amounts. So once that's done, you can just hit OK, and now you're given the option to print it if you want, or you can come back in at another time, go back to this tab and see that it was approved on what date and time and for what amount. Thank you.